There's been a major terror attack in downtown Srinagar. This attack took place at the CRPF in the Nowhatta Chowk area of downtown Srinagar. Massive counter-terror operations are underway. There was an exchange of fire between terrorists and the CRPF personnel at Nowhatta. 5 CRPF jawans are reported to be critical. 2 terrorists, between 2 and 3 terrorists believed to be holed up. They've now been isolated is what sources tell us. Security forces are on the lookout for more terrorists who could be hiding. News is coming in of an infiltration bid that was foiled at the line of control in Kupwara. 2 terrorists have been killed at the line of control. I want to quickly bring in India Today's Padmaja Joshi, who joins me live from Srinagar. We also have Shuja ul Haq, who's been reporting on the situation in downtown. But Padmaja, greetings on the 70th Independence Day. What's the latest in Srinagar?
To you two and to all our viewers who are watching, who tuned in at this moment right now, Gaurav. But you know, it is a major concern, especially because just minutes before actually the Chief Minister of Jammu and Kashmir was to make her Independence Day address, this attack has taken place, and it comes soon after the ceasefire violation also that happened yesterday. So, you know, increasingly there was an effort to try and disturb the peace in this area, and it is going to be of concern. But what's the latest that you can tell us, Shuja, first of all, about these men, these attackers, the terrorists? Have they been tracked down by the forces?
Well, Padmaja, you know, actually there are 2 operations going on today as we speak. One is in Srinagar, in the heart of Srinagar rather, near Nowhatta. It's a downtown area where we are given to understand that at least 3 militants were involved in this particular attack, which was mounted on a CRPF patrol. They were traced. There is a gunfight going on as we speak. We're given to understand that they are, you know, hiding in one of the residential houses. They've been cornered. The CRPF and the Special Operations Group of Jammu and Kashmir Police is carrying out this operation. At the same time, there is another similar operation going on the line of control in Uri sector, where this morning an infiltration bid has been foiled. The army says that 2 militants have been killed, while there is suspicion that there are more out there, and that's why the entire operation is still on. So 2 operations going on right at the time when the Independence Day parade is just about to happen here, you know, behind us in this Bakshi Stadium. So clearly gives out the bigger picture out here. What really happening on the day when we should be celebrating, when there should be so many activities going on. There is so much of tension.
But in fact, also significantly, Gaurav, in his address also, the Prime Minister also tried to reach out, yes, over the last few days. In fact, for over a month now, there has been tension. It'll be very important to see what message the Chief Minister gives, Shuja. What are you hearing from your sources about that? Because the Prime Minister was very clear that anyone who tries to lionize, anyone who tries to deify people who are waging war against the country, that will not be tolerated, and everyone should be included in the overall development of the country. That was the invitation sent out by the Prime Minister. Will those sentiments be echoed by the CM as well?
Well, that's the big point, because, you know, we've seen of late how New Delhi has been responding to it. It seems that they are sending across a very, very strong message, you know, that these are the things that are a complete no to Delhi. But at the same time, what will be very interesting to see is how Mehbooba Mufti responds to it, because she has local, perspective to keep in mind. She will have to sort of give out some sort of a vent to the people. Remember, it's more than 1 month, about 40 days that we've been seeing an unrest on the ground here in Valley, and most of the people who are criticizing her government are saying that there hasn't been much in terms of political outreach. Not much has been done or said or sort of initiated to sort of douse down the fire. So this perhaps is a great opportunity. Perhaps here at her speech, in her speech, she could say something which would come across as a political outreach to those people who have been criticizing her.
All right. So we had heard earlier, remember, Gaurav, from the Chief Minister, where she had appealed to all the parents in the valley to not let their young ones get out on the street in the way of harm, and had also asked them, come be a part of the country's development. That is what the message that the country is sending out to you. Will that be built upon? Will that message be built upon? That's what remains to be seen. In the meantime, of course, you can see the kind of security. This really is a reflection of what is happening across the city. You've You've got patrolling everywhere. There's curfew in place right now. And also there is a complete shutdown as far as the mobile services and the internet services are concerned. Let's see what happens over the next 24 hours. Gaurav.
Stay with me, Padmaja and Shuja, as this massive counter-terror operation is currently underway in the heart of downtown Srinagar. What sources are telling India today is that 2 terrorists at least are holed up inside a built-up structure. Is this a house? Is this a shop? It's a built-up structure. We know that for sure. This building has been surrounded. More reinforcements are flanking this area. At least 2 terrorists are reportedly holed up. We will get you much more on this. Aditi Fadnis, senior journalist with the Business Standard with me. Sanjay Singh, senior journalist with me, as is Madhu Gaur Yashki of the Congress. Now, Aditi, the Prime Minister has made an appeal to children. Give up agitation. Join the path of development. The Chief Minister has said that many times. She's also reached out to the parents saying, don't let your children out. Will this work, or is it now time for the government to go after those who violate the law without fear or favor?
Well, I think the government has been going out after those who violate the law. Fear or favor, I'm not sure about. But certainly, children are children. I mean, even the Congress party, Ghulam Nabi Azad, has said that your job is to study. Please go to school, please go to college and do your studies. Don't get involved in these kind of activities. But this has very limited efficacy and very limited sort of space. Because there is a sense of serious grievance, there's a sense of rage, there's a sense of injustice. Those things have to be corrected. And
but
frankly,
is this
the state government has not done enough to address that. I'm saying this very frankly.
You're saying, has not done enough to address it. Sanjay, is this a false narrative that is being fed to those people by vested interests who first feed a false narrative to these children, to these youngsters, and then they feed off that false narrative? For example, from day one, Burhan Wani was a terrorist, was well known, but you feed a false narrative to them of injustice, of the security forces doing something wrong in killing a terrorist, and then when children come out on the streets, whether it's on their own, whether it's Pakistan sponsored, whatever be the reason, then you say that the government is doing something wrong by going after these stone pelters, Sanjay.
Precisely, Gaurav. If you feed this particular narrative and if you believe this particular narrative, then half of the India should turn to be a terrorist. That's not being the case. In fact, in case of Burhan Wani and latest turmoil that is happening in Kashmir, we have seen statement from Hafiz Saeed, we have seen from Syed Salahuddin, and then Pakistan Prime Minister saying something to the effect that he is waiting for the day when Kashmir becomes part of Pakistan. That narrative has to be countered. There could be some legitimate grievances, and there are some legitimate grievances with government of the state and the center are working and should be working and legitimately addressing to their concerns. But this particular narrative, I think, is dangerous and has to be countered at some point in time by the government. I think the government is taking its step. In fact, by today saying so many things about POK, Gilgit and Balochistan, I think Prime Minister is addressing Pakistan that stop creating nuisance out there, otherwise we are going to retaliate.
And is that the message that should go out? Because Madhu Gaur Yashki, 6 years ago, in 2010, the shoe was on the other foot. Your government was in power, stone pelting was happening, pellet guns were being used, so you know the ground reality. Is it time for this entire country to drop politics over Kashmir, come together not just in words but in action, so that these children realize what they're doing? This stone pelting is wrong, it's unacceptable, it needs to stop, because terrorists are taking advantage of the situation.
You said the right word, Gaurav. Not words, action. This is what you promised. Don't forget, I would like to remind my friends from the media there. It is BJP, PDP government in Kashmir. More than a year you're in power. You promised a development. After all this unrest and over 50 people, youth have been killed, now the government of India in Parliament says, and Prime Minister, not to the Parliament addressing, but he makes a statement in Madhya Pradesh, that 83,000 crores package announced to the Kashmiri youth. Is that what you talked about? What you promised during elections? You are blaming our government. You came to power blaming the Congress government there. You've made false promises, only talking. More than a year you're in power and you've done nothing. And secondly, let me remind you, Gaurav, I was a member of parliament delegation, went to Pakistan. It is not entire Pakistan.
Went to
People
Kashmir.
celebrate a terror attacks or killings in India. Don't blame the whole people of Pakistan. That's not where you engage in dialogue. I was in Lahore, I was in Moray and other places. So it's as much as people there also suffering, we have to have a proper dialogue with the people. Engaging people in track to diplomacy is different, and engaging the Pakistan army or administration is a different issue. So PM making on rampart from Red Fort, blaming entire Pakistan population, it doesn't go well.
No, but has he blamed the population of Pakistan, or has he blamed? No. Is it the Pakistan army? Are you letting Pakistan off the hook? I'll talk about this. No. That's a very interesting point. That's a very interesting point you've raised. I want to discuss this in greater detail on the other side of a short break. Are you letting Pakistan off the hook?
Pakistan people.
Has he blamed Pakistan's people, Aditi?
No, absolutely not. We always are consistent against Pakistan. I'm talking about the people.
So who has blamed the people of Pakistan?
Neither me as a former member of parliament. What is Prime Minister's speech? What did he say? What were you talking so far? Prime Minister, what did Prime Minister say? People in Pakistan, not the military. He said people in Pakistan celebrate. And what was PDP, BJP government doing in Kashmir since he came to power?
A quick break.